Hi everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Dawn and I'm a 53-year-old mother of 4, wife of 25 years, registered nurse. What else? I like to live a healthy lifestyle and I love makeup and skincare and all that kind of stuff. So if you're into that kind of thing too, I hope you will hit the subscribe button and stick around. I know some of you are new here and I've got my beautiful, loyal friend subscribers who have been with me for a long time, and I've been wanting to make a Q&A video. I say that probably once a year and then I just never do it. I have a really hard time just sitting around talking about myself. So I'm going to really try. So if you could ask some questions down below in the comment section, I'd love to put together a Q&A video. I know many of you know a lot about me already, but there might be something you don't or something you're curious about. So go ahead and ask. It could be something as basic as my favorite color or something complicated like how I met my husband. So anyways, I am gonna just jump in. I'm excited about this video. I've been getting really excited about makeup again. I go through like these waves where I kind of like feel uninspired and not very excited. But lately I've been feeling excited and I wonder if it's because spring is kind of in the air. The robins are coming back and I can hear them singing. The weather's been more agreeable and I can smell it, you know, in the air. When I open up the slider door to let my dogs out, it just smells like spring is on the way. There's no flowers or anything yet. So it's not that aromatic, beautiful fragrance of flowers or anything like that. But, you know, you can just sense those shifts in the environment sometimes. And I know spring is coming. So it always does, but it's coming again. Thank the Lord. And I am excited to share some makeup with you. So I've been super excited about this new, I believe it's limited edition, palettes, glosses, and I think that's it, that are limited edition released by Buxom. And they have 2 new Dolly glosses and they're different than the original Dolly, which is like a cult classic favorite. That's part of their permanent collection. And Buxom does have a Dolly blush that is part of the permanent collection. I've shared the Dolly blush with you in other videos. It is new to my collection. Actually, Buxom blushes are new to my collection after I tried Seychelles back in the fall, which is so beautiful. It's like a really wearable rosy gold color. And then I did pick up the Dolly and it's like a mauvey pink. I have it on today and it's just really soft, pinky mauve, really beautiful for the spring, summer, winter, yeah, even the fall. In the fall, I kind of veer away from pinks, period, just because I'm so excited to start wearing those more mysterious fall colors. But by January, I'm ready to get back into the pinks and peaches and things like that. And there's 2 limited edition Dolly lip glosses. I don't know for sure if they're limited edition or if they'll become part of the permanent collection. But right now, my guess would be that they're limited edition. And there's Glamour Teeny, which is a cream, and then Dolly Glitz, which is a little bit sheer and sparkly. And I will show you what they look like. I am wearing Dolly Glamour Teeny right now, and that's what that looks like. This is the sheer sparkly one, Dolly Glitz. Really pretty. It's kind of a little peachy too. So if you're not wearing a lot of pinks and you're wearing peaches, it's a great choice. It's a great topper on top of other colors. And then there's Glamour Teeny, and that's what this one looks like. And it's more pigmented and it has a little shimmer to it. They both have that sort of mintiness about them. They do have peptides in the formula and they're supposed to make your lips like more plump over time. So they're really, really good. And so the star of this video is going to be the 2 Dolly palettes. And I've been wanting to share these with you and just couldn't figure out a way to share them. I did put them in my last month's monthly favorites and I talked so much about them that I ended up clipping that portion of the video out because I thought monthly favorites, these deserve their own, their own video. And I've read lots of reviews on them and they're pretty well loved universally. universally on all the reviews that I've read as well. People seem to really like them. They are very pigmented, very creamy. They don't have kick up. The colors are just stunning, and they're really wearable. They do have a combination of mattes and shimmers. Now I'm going to start with the Darling Dolly. So this is what the palette looks like, and it's described as a peachy plum palette. And I do have some swatches, and I'm just going to do a brief rundown. So your first color that you'll have is Dreamy, and it's a matte eggshell. Then you'll have Charm. I hope you can see these lighter shades on my fair skin. Charm is a satin beige pink. Then you have Dazzle, which is a metallic rose mauve. And then you have Mesmerize, which is a satin taupey mauve. And then you have Wow, which is a matte plum. Now the very light colors here, they're really light on my skin. Everyone has a deeper skin tone than I do, so they should come off a little bit better on just about everyone else's skin, but they do come off more pigmented on my eye. And I just did one swipe with these. I wanted to show you how pigmented they are. I'll do a quick rundown of Diva Dolly that looks like this. And these are the colors in the Diva Dolly palette. You've got a very light color called Go Getter, which is a satin diamond white. So it's very shimmery and white, so it's hard to see on my skin. And then you have Wild Child, which is a matte smoky mauve, really pretty. Then you have Fierce, which is a metallic amethyst. And then you have On Fire, which is a matte reddish plum, where you have the other plum in here, which is definitely just a truer plum. And then you have Damn, which is a satin gunmetal. So I like to think of these as being like a daytime and a nighttime palette. So I would think Darling Dolly would be a really pretty wearable daytime palette. It definitely can be used at night, building up this beautiful plum. And then I think this one, I don't know, both you can use during the day and at night, but this one with that gunmetal shade, I think that this one you can really glam up. Now I have used them together. I think the two palettes work really beautifully together. And then there's 10 shades. They do retail for $16. And like I said, they're really pigmented. I think the quality is amazing. I think it's every bit as good as like my retro palette from Natasha Denona. I think it's just really good. I'm gonna go ahead and show you a look using some colors from both of these palettes together, and then I'll just go through like which palette I think you would probably like the most. And I'm gonna finish off the look with a little bit of eyeliner that I have on hand and a MAC mascara, and this is the new one, and it's the Magic Lash Extension. It does have those 5mm fibers that they advertise. Now, I was a little bit concerned about the fibers, but my all-time favorite mascara for years and years was the L'Oreal Fiber Mascara, and I stopped using that when I started my love affair with tubing mascaras. So I really wanted to try this one because I know that the fibers really won't bother me. Now, if you wear contact lenses, I don't know, I guess I might veer away from a fiber mascara because, you know, the enemy to contacts is Angora and fibers. So anyways, let's just jump in and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is take Wild Child, and this is from the Diva Dolly palette. And I just have a crease brush here. I think I'll do one eye and then I'll do the other eye off camera. And I'm just really building this up into my crease and a little bit out here toward the tail of my brow. I've been really extending the tail of my brow. It keeps getting longer and longer and longer, and pretty soon, I don't know where it's gonna go. But anyway, I kind of like the look of extending the tail. I've just been trying a lot of new brow products lately and seeing what I like. So today I think I'm going to try something different and try a bolder look, a little bit different than I typically do, and put some sparkle on it. And in the future I can do just a nice everyday look using the Buxom Dolly palette, because this palette is actually so good for just an everyday look. So I am going to take the plum called Wow and a small shader brush, and I'm just going to pick that up on the end of the brush. Now it is a very pigmented color, so you do want to go with a light touch, and I'm going to pack that into the inner corner here. And as you can see, it's really creamy and blends out so nicely. Like, it takes nothing at all. It kind of just blends itself out. And I'm going to also take this color and put it in the inner corner, and that might be a big old faux pas. Not only is it a darker color, and typically I like to use lighter colors in the inner corner, but I want to do a halo eye look. So I'm going to put some here and some here. Now I'm going to take the Satin Taupe Mauve Dazzle on my finger, and I'm just going to tap that in the center. I think they call it a halo when you do that. I didn't want to use this one because I have the mauve shade already there, so I didn't want to add a lot more pink to it. And this one's more beige. Now I'm going to take Charm right here, which is more of like a beige pink, and pick that up. And I'm just going to pat that around up here and add a lot more sparkle over the matte shade that I had already placed in my crease. I'm going to take this like sparkly diamond shade right here and just place that right in the inner corner and a little up here in the crease of my brow. I've got quite a bit of sparkle going on there. I'm just taking a clean flat brush and trying to make sure that I smudge out the mauve shade that I put on the inner and outer corner, just to make sure that it's really blended well. Now I'm just picking up the matte Wild Child one more time that I placed in my crease, and I'm just going to build that up. I'm going to bring the other eye up to speed, and I'll be right back. Okay, now my other eye is brought up to speed, so I'm going to go in with some MAC eyeliner in Phone Number, and I am just going to start in the bottom and start about where my iris is. I'm not going to go all the way into the inner corner, and I really just want to press this into my lash line. And I like how smudgy this is. It is long wearing, and once you have it on, it won't go anywhere, but it's really easy to kind of smudge into place and make a line that isn't going to be super precise. So let me just do that. And I'm going to go ahead and do my tight line, and I'll do that off camera because some of you are squeamish. I'm just going to take a little bit of the gunmetal shade right here called Damn with this kind of cone-shaped brush and pick it up just on the tip and go over the phone number. Okay, I curled my lashes, and I'm going to go in with the Magic Lash Extension Lash from MAC with the fibers, and this is what it looks like. And it's got a nice firm rubber brush, so I really like that, so you can really press it into your lashes and kind of get those fibers all over your lashes. It does not have any fibers that I can see. It's part of the mascara, and I read that there's like carbon or something in the formula, to crystal carbon, something to make your lashes very, very dark. So let's try it. It did get very mixed reviews, I will tell you. Some people love it and some people just hate it. So the people who don't like it, it wasn't that it was smearing or smudging, they just didn't want any fibers in their formula mainly. They thought it was just okay for the price, and you know, just various complaints. I didn't keep seeing the same one over and over, like smearing or something like that, to report to you. But the people who love it, they just say it gives them like a very nice lush lash that doesn't smear or smudge or flake. The good thing is that the times I've worn it so far, I have not gotten any of those fibers or anything. There aren't any flakes or anything like that underneath my eye at the end of the day. Now, the only complaint and qualm I have is that I do use Revitalash, but my lashes do stay pretty long, but it doesn't do a lot for the thickness of my lashes. So when I use a volumizing mascara, my complaint is, and it's not just this one, it's all volumizing mascaras, that my little thin lashes up here seem to have a lot of weight on them. It doesn't pull them down or anything, but I think you can see what I mean when I bring you in close. Let me just do the bottom lashes. It's not an overly wet formula, which I like, so it's pretty easy to apply without getting it all over the place. Okay, so that's just one coat, and I'm gonna bring the other eye up to speed, and then I'll talk to you a little more about this. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you in really close. And so what I'm going to tell you about these palettes is that if you were only to choose one, I would say go with the Darling Dolly palette. It's just a really beautiful palette for everyday wear, and I think it's a little more functional than using the Diva Dolly on its own. I just like the shimmer colors in this one a little bit more, and I think the plum in this one is really, really pretty. So I think this is just a great universal palette that you would get so much use out of, and the sparkle colors in it are more satiny than sparkly, so they're just really wearable no matter what your age, and I think that's important for those of us who have a little bit of crepiness and things like that going on with our eyelids. Now, I do think the Diva Dolly is still a beautiful palette, and I would say if you can get both, I'd get both. They work beautifully together, and this has some beautiful shades in it as well. As you can see, I dip into these two a lot. The Gunmetal I use mostly as like a liner. I haven't really used it on its own, but it's such a pretty color. I think that you could do this like all over your lid. It is a bit sheer, so it's not as dark, and you know, I think you could definitely still wear this during the day, but I do think of this as a little more of a nighttime palette. I haven't used this shade a whole bunch. It's really pretty, but I don't know, it's a little more hot pink, and I prefer the plum a little bit better in this one. As you can see, it's much darker. So I don't know, it's a tough call. Definitely, I think the Darling Dolly is the star of the show out of the two of these palettes, but I do enjoy having both of them and using them together. Now, the new MAC mascara. I think it's a really nice mascara. It wears really well. It doesn't flake down onto my skin beneath my eye at the end of the day. It doesn't smear. I think that if I were to buy a fiber mascara and I had to choose between this and the L'Oreal False Fiber Mascara, I would go with the L'Oreal False Fiber Mascara. I feel like the fibers in this one are a little bit clumpy. I'm going to bring you in close again. Take a good look on the tips of my lashes. And I did also comb through. Now, this is only one coat, so if I were to build it up to a second coat, it would definitely be more clumpy. But I did comb through my lashes with this little metal comb too, and it's still a little bit clumpy. I'm going to bring you in. It isn't a terrible mascara. I'll still wear it. I think it's really pretty from afar. I'm looking in a magnifying mirror, and if you're looking at me just on camera from like where you are, or if I were speaking to someone who's like not right in my face, you're not going to notice that. So I don't know. The verdict isn't out yet. It is a lovely mascara, but the other thing I don't really like is listen to the pop. it's not very strong, so it doesn't pull off as much. Like the tip has a glob of mascara. There's not a lot you can do about that. Usually with any mascara anyway, it pulls it off the spoolie and then you get a little bit on the tip. But, you know, for the price, I think I would pass on this and just get the L'Oreal False Fiber Mascara instead. So anyway, oh, and if you do want a liquid lash extension mascara that does what this one claims to do, I would go with the Thrive Liquid Lash Extension Mascara. It's a really good one. It is a tubing mascara, which is my preferred formula, and you just can't go wrong. So anyway, thank you for spending some time with me. I hope you enjoyed this overview of the Dolly collection from Buxom and the MAC Extension Mascara. And if you did, please don't forget to hit like on your way out. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Leave me a question for my upcoming Q&A. And I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. I'll see you next time.